about 15 minutes ago, I was in this huge traffic jam. And where I live in the country, there's not a lot of traffic jams. Usually when there's one, horse and buggy came to a dismal end or John Deere tractor broke down, but we don't have a lot of traffic jams like you live in the city. So I was on this backcountry road, not thinking anything of it, and all of a sudden I just hit my brakes real hard and came up to this long line of cars. And I didn't know what it was because there's normally never any traffic on this road. And then, it hit me. Tonight is the start of the fair, the county fair. So, and where I was is about a mile from the entrance. So there's this huge backup for people that want to go to the fair, and a lot of people go out there, they want to vote on the prettiest pig or whatever you do at a fair. I've only gone a couple times of all the years that I've lived here, and you know what a fair is like. I mean, you go, you get the deep fried Oreos, you get the substandard carnival rides, you get horses, goats, pigs, and I guess I could have put my hog here in the contest, and I don't know, I can't call it a pretty bike. It just doesn't flow right. This bike is not pretty. I mean, it's got some attractive features to it. I mean, I wouldn't turn it down if it came knocking on my door at 1 in the morning, but nonetheless, I don't want to call my bike pretty. Now, as for the pigs, I don't want to get too attached to the pigs, like if people go in there and vote for them, because I'm a bacon and I'm a pork kind of guy. I'm a meat eater, right? So if anybody from PETA happens to be listening to this, my truest apologies to you, but I do like the pork and the bacon. Crispy bacon, might I add. Anyway, so let me tell you this story, the whole point of this video. Oh, before I get into that, first I want to welcome several new subscribers. For some reason, I put a video out last week about me being an idiot, not checking T-clocks on my bike, and it blew up. I mean, blew up for me, meaning that a lot of people watched it. I guess YouTube promoted or something. They like people calling themselves idiots in a video. Anyway, I gained a couple subscribers, so I'd like to welcome you guys. I appreciate you joining. So I'll give you a very quick snapshot of me. My name is Colin. I ride a 2017, obviously Harley-Davidson Street Glide Special. I've been riding now for about 15 years, and this is my 4th bike from Harley. I started out with a Fat Bob, and now I love this thing. Absolutely love this ride. I love YouTube. I mean, I really enjoy it. I do this totally as a hobby. I enjoy meeting people. I love interacting with people. Some of my greatest friends I've actually met through YouTube, and we've gone riding together, and all through this medium here. I'm a very laid-back individual. I mean, and then what you see on this video is pretty much my personality. I just enjoy life. Some of you might not know this. The Broncoride thing. I grew up in Denver, and I'm a huge football fan, so hence the colors. Actually, this wasn't intentional, but the colors orange and blue. Are the Denver Bronco colors. So that's where my name came from. It's kind of a lame name, but people, sometimes when you look up my name on YouTube, a bunch of cowboys come up. I'm the farthest thing from a cowboy, I'll tell you that right now. So back to the story. I was riding after work one day, and as I was heading home, I took actually a back route home. My right leg started cramping up like it was painful. And I'm sitting here, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't pull over, but it was like the worst pain I've experienced in a while. I have a pretty high threshold for pain, at least I think I do. But it hurt like absolute hell, and I couldn't do anything about it. And normally when you get cramps, you're dehydrated, right? I mean, I had one of those for the first time. I tried, one of my colleagues gave me one of these, 5-hour energy. So I tried it, and I think it was around 11 I tried it. And I will tell you, it works for about 3 or 4 hours, but after that 4th hour, you start getting that caffeine crash. And I don't know if that's by design, so you'll keep drinking them. So I don't know if I'll go back to drink. I've never been one of those sports drink or energy drink kind of guy. I'll stick, if I need a quick pickup, I'll have coffee and a Snickers. That's my go-to. But anyway, I'm sitting here on the road as I'm riding, and I'm sitting here like, you can see this, I'm like kicking my freaking leg out, trying to shake it off. And it wouldn't go away. And it was like the worst pain I could imagine. And it absolutely sucked. And it likened it to like another pain I've had. And I know this is going to be kind of a little TMI, too much information for you. But I figure I'll share it for you just for the point of the story. So there's another pain that has happened with me on the bike besides that cramp. The other one is when I was in such pain because I had to take a leak so bad and I couldn't pull over. So let me tell you a little bit of the story, what happened. I was heading back from West Virginia, and this was a couple months ago. And I was at a stop somewhere in Virginia, and I was feeling a little, needed a little pickup, so I did my coffee, had a big old 32-ounce coffee. It was big, I remember that. Slammed that down. And let me preface this by saying, you ever see that movie, The Incredibles, Elastigirl? That's my bladder. It like can freaking stretch. I mean, I could pack in some fluids before that thing busts. So I figured I'd be okay. And normally every hour and a half, I stop when I'm riding because of some back issues I have from previous years. So I usually have to stop and stretch. But I was on the last 2 hours of my trip. I was in Virginia. I pounded down these coffees. And I had at the time probably about a 3/4, closer to half a tank of gas. So I figured I'd ride for like 2 hours. So about an hour into the trip, I was starting to feel it. And then on top of this, I forgot to add this. I have one of those Camelbacks, and it was hot that day, and I have one of those things where you can, put the water thing in it, the water reservoir, and then you can pull the handle, and then you can drink on it, like when you're hiking and stuff. That thing's really handy on long days, especially when I do long rides. And so I was pounding that, drinking the water, plus that huge coffee, so it was starting to hit me. And when you're riding, and if you guys have ever had that pain where you have to piss so bad, I mean, like where it's painful, that's what that cramp felt like. So like, and this is not the smart thing to do. So I'm like trying to do this, and that's not, just for future reference, if that ever happens, you guys don't move around. And I was trying everything. I was like leaning like this. I was trying everything to reduce the pain. And you're probably thinking, why didn't you just pull over? Well, I looked at my tank, and I had about quarter tank left. I said, I'm just going to push through it. I'll go like another 20 miles. I figure I can get to this last tank before I head the last part of my house. I think I had like 40 miles, 50 miles left after that. So I was like, I could push it. So about 15 miles before, I was crying. I was literally could not move. I was just like, don't say anything, just focus on the road, think good thoughts. And I finally pushed myself that last like 10 miles. I slammed into this gas station. I mean, I went really quick right up in there. I went in, and of course, what do you think happened? Somebody's in the bathroom. And so I asked the attendant, I said, man, please, I'll just use the women's bathroom. Is that okay? And he just looks at me. He's like, no, you're not using the women's bathroom. And I'm like, come on, dude. So finally, within about a minute, a guy comes out. And this is how full I was. Remember the Elastigirl thing? It was stretched to the limit. I mean, even though I have an iron bladder, I was about to bust. So I get in there, and I timed it. So I wanted to know, because I knew this would take me at least a minute. So I got in there, and yeah, I mean, I know this is really odd, but I actually timed me taking a leak. 1 47 seconds. Now, you might think that doesn't seem like a long time. 2 minutes isn't that much. But next time you go take a piss or take a leak, if you're sitting on the toilet, for all the females out there, I'm sorry, I'm male and female friendly on this channel, sit down and time yourself for 1 47 seconds. See how long that lasts. Because normally it's like 30 to 45 seconds on a normal urinating stop, correct? But 1 47. So that's my story. So those are the two things that are extremely painful on a bike, besides obviously the back and the seat and all that stuff. But how often does that happen to you? I could have easily just pulled over in the highway, but I didn't want Johnny Law to come over and freaking get me for indecent exposure, so I had to wait. Stupid of me. I should have timed myself. I shouldn't have got that Camelback. I shouldn't have got the 32-ounce coffee. But what are you going to do? Hope you guys enjoyed the story. Now get out there and ride. Be well, and I'll talk to you guys soon.